Alright, hello and welcome to another Duel review. This is a replay sent to me by Gibbination, play against MMF. I believe this was played on the ladder, but I'm not completely sure. Not the highest incentives, but a lot of pride to play for. These are two very active members in the Goat format community, and very strong players as well. Fun to see. I believe this is the first time I'm featuring a game played by MMF. So, here we have the first decision of the game for Gibby. Likely going to discard one of the wind blasts. There we go. And here we're in a lot of trouble. I think we set the mimic. We could set the wind blast. Depends if we have any tells, any reads on what MMF is playing. Let's see what Gibby goes for. Sets wind blast and the storm. Okay, so I like this because if MMF would have set a Magician of Faith, that would be able to pick up the Delinquent duo, and that would be awful for us. So this is good. Yeah, we'll let that one through. Serpent is a nice one. So was no need to end phase the Wind Blast. However, we could use it here in a standby phase. Not quite sure. I think we might as well save it. Use the Nobleman. See how the game develops. Also, that is better against Kaiku. And not using our back row might incentivize MMF to set additional back row later on, making our Pro Storm stronger. I just pass. We take that. So, do we go for the Wind Blast now? I think yes. Wind Blast, discarding the Serpent, picking it back up, and setting the Night Assailant. Because the Night Assailant would gladly pop the tomato here, I feel. But it doesn't want to pop a flip monster, really. I mean, we don't have to Wind Blast here, but I think we maybe should. I mean, we could play it slow. What's actually that bad for us? I guess Spy would be awkward. Because the Magician of Faith doesn't do much right now. Goes for this line to get the Mimic back. I think that might have been a bit hasty, but I could definitely be wrong. Wants to dig deeper into their deck while denying MMF to do the same. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Whenever I have a Serpent in hand, I really want to discard it. Could even have done that, saving the Night Assailant for later, but I guess cycling the Night Assailant, which basically is what we did, does make sense. You could argue that's a better use than trading it for the tomato. And I guess that's a fair point. So now, how do we challenge this set monster? I don't think we do. Maybe we set the Dita War Lady, maybe we run it into the tomato, maybe we flip the Heavy Storm before all this. I'm not sure. Decides to set the Dita War Lady. Okay. And here I think we do not banish because MMF is not close to summoning a Chaos monster unless they top deck literally Thunder Dragon. So I think we attempt to stall out with this Tito War Lady for now. Perfect. Finally, our Pro Storm play might pay off. It won't if MMF has a Ring of Destruction set, but I think that's a risk worth to take. It could also be Raigeki Break, but in that case, hopefully, there's no Good discard fodder. What we could do here is not activate the Heavy Storm and just pass. Perhaps while setting the Sagan. That is very passive though. Other option, flip the Storm, summon Sagan, perhaps banish Tomato, run over the set. You could argue that we're not scared of the set. I'm a bit scared that it could be a Night Assailant. I guess that's what would be bad for us. But Night Assailant along with Mimics and Tomato, that's a bit unusual. Let's see what Gibby goes for. Goes for the Storm. And there were no relevant chainables. They booked the Sangan because it's slightly better than it being face up. Very marginal, of course. So now we summon the Sangan and we attempt to run over the set monsters. Maybe we should banish the Sangan with the Dealer War Lady actually. I'm not sure. Maybe we should just keep the Dealer War Lady. See what Kiwi does. Yeah, I think these spots are tricky. Decides to run over the creature or the monster. That could be a Dekoichi or a Magician of Faith. So this basically clears the body without using up our own body. Yeah, I think this might have been the best option. Still, Chaos Monster is a bit awkward, but there's not going to be any Chaos Monsters dropping quite just yet. Which means that our DD War Lady will hopefully have another chance to trade for one of the Sangan or Tomato. Set Sangan pass. This is a summon Tsukiyomi. I don't understand why. There's no dark. Why do we want our DD War Lady set? We get Duel, which we know we would. Scar Serpent, of course. I guess setting it is better against Kaiku. Maybe they were thinking that far ahead. Would be cool if so. So MMF attacks into the Did War Lady to put it face up again. And Gibby claims that they wouldn't do this if it wasn't advantageous to them, and thus Gibby decides to use the Did War Lady. However, I'm not quite sure what that plays around because MMF couldn't summon a Chaos Monster, not that I see. And there are few discard outlets. I mean, they could have top deck Graceful or Thunder Dragon, which would be able to get the Darks into the graveyard. The Thunder Dragon by triple summoning off the Sangan. Or we could have a Snatch Steal. I'm not completely sure. It's very interesting. So pick up the Serpent. Yeah, because well, it could be Dust Shoot. So maybe we don't. But that leaves us so weak to Kaiku. Maybe we have the read that there's no Kaiku. Looks like a standard Chaos Control deck so far from MMF, but who knows? You could also go for the MST and then pick up the Serpent. Let's see what Kibi does. Kibi just picks it up. So now what do we do? Do we set Tsukiyomi, set Typhoon? Just set Tsukiyomi. I would have imagined MMF would have used the Nobleman if they had it. Maybe they saved it, but that's a bit unlikely to me. Set Serpent, set Typhoon. Yeah, there was the Nobleman. Take the Frozen, of course. But we have done a good job of staying in this game. The Reward Lady, I think, is a bit underrated right now. Gibbet likes to play it, it would seem. And it's serviceable against Control or Turbo. And it's also very good against aggro, so I think that makes sense. We could go for Snatch Steal here, but I think we should just set the Tsukiomi. Yeah. And we flop down our Tsuki. Set the call. Okay, so we're deciding to run over the Sangan. No? So why are we picking the Tsukiomi back up? Because now we have shown them that it is a Tsukiyomi and then MMF can react accordingly with cards such as Breaker the Magical Warrior. And at that point, we would rather not expose it. Sure. So do we flip call here? I think I think we could. Yeah. Decides against it. Okay. Now, oh, okay, sorry. I'm silly. Gibby goes for the correct line of play. Now we flip the call to grab a Mimic level 1. Decides to go for the MST first, which is to play around Ring of Destruction. But maybe we should have end phased that to play around Goats. Maybe that's not an issue. Also, there's Dust Shoot, but that's unlikely to be Dust Shoot. Yeah, let's see what they go for. It is the Goats, and we do choose to activate it. Because Visanga was flip summoned, so if we would have used it during the end phase, we couldn't have chained the Scapegoat. But then perhaps they would use an Mystical Space Rune from their hand. So, but I don't think so. I think this was a slight error. Could be that Gaby wanted to see his draw step, but I don't think so. I mean, it's not a disaster because these goats aren't looking great, but I think it's unnecessary to give MMF the option. So here's the Mimic. Go for level 3. We're going to crash with the Sangan to draw 2 cards. MMF grabs Tsukiyomi. I guess we're just going to set the Magician of Faith here and the Dashut. Gibby really doesn't like shuffling their hand. So much free information. Alright, let's see what this is. Tsukiyomi, Metamorphosis, Serpent, Scapegoat, Metamorphosis. So I think we'll see a Metamorphosis here. Would be interesting to see if they choose to use a goat or if they would rather save it by using the Serpent. And we took away the Chaos Sorcerer. Makes sense, because we're not afraid of Thousand Eyes Tsuki us, seeing as we have our own Tsukiyomi to challenge the Thousand Eyes. I think we could go for the book here. I think this is a good use of book. Force them to use another Metamorphosis. Yeah, this is the awkward part. That this... So MF, do we know a Tsukiomi? Yes, we do. And that's why we leave both of their Thousand Eyes set. Which I think is quite cute. But now we return Serpent. And we use Serpent to run one over. No, wait, the Serpent was banished by Knock, so we don't have that option. So in that case, we could go for Chaos Sorcerer, but that can only clear one of the Thousand Eyes that Tsukiyomi can't help. So maybe we are Tsukiyomi locked in reverse. Wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't really know how we get out of this. So if we can, what's even our line of play here? Just pass. Let's see what Kiba does. Goes for Chaos Sorcerer. I don't understand. Banish a goat. Tsukiyomi runs over another goat. We creature swap our Tsukiyomi for one of the Thousand Eyes, and then we Pass? I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Snatch, creature swap, play Tsukiyomi, run over the goat. Oh, what a god. What a god. Goat attacks the face down monster to flip a face up and now a creature swap. Wow, that's a nice line. Yeah, that's a nice one. So, Gibby decided to give away the Tsukiyomi rather than the goat, which I don't quite understand, because I don't think the goat does much for us except expose us to damage, as is the case here. But Gibby does play Metamorphosis in this deck, so it's not completely obvious. So we don't need to lead with the Thunder Dragon. I think we can get a hit in with the Chaos Sorcerer. Okay. Don't see why we should reveal this information. Not that it's likely to matter. This way you don't forget it. That's one way. So we hit one of the goats, I believe. No? Yeah, I think we should. Decides to leave 4. I don't understand why. So flip the thousand dice at least, right? Oh no, no, this is better against Tsukiyomi. But why is it better to leave the goats? That I don't quite understand. I guess if we're scared of just straight up dying. Sure. But how do we make progress now? It feels like we're just waiting for MMF to find an outside field. We're not making progress. I guess we could claim that trading draw steps is good for us. Maybe just long term, these scouts being there. So if we're not in the, if we're not trying to actually kill MMF, you could make a case that long term MMF is playing with only a single monster zone, which makes it a lot harder for him to kill us. And by that logic, this is correct. I mean, that's a cool line of thought. But yeah, applying pressure is valuable as well. Alright. Okay, and MF admits defeat. Let's see, how long are we into the video? Feels like it's been a while. 18 minutes already? Alright. Let's pray this is a quick smash from Gibby. MF on the play with Thunder Dragon, but we have a great hand, so. Alright, this is just going to be a smash, I thought, but we still have a very good hand. I think with Fire of the Graceful, it could wait, but I don't think we do. Gibby decides to wait and also decides not to go for the Nobleman. That's quite ballsy. But we know it's not the Magician of Faith, so I guess that's fair. And we actually kind of know that it's not the Spy, as this is the Mimic package version that we're playing against. So we're not really scared of anything, except for Mimic level 1, which isn't that bad. It's okay. I can see this. Um, Still, the set monster can't be a Magician of Faith. I guess at this point we fire off the Graceful though, because we're the Night Slam plus Flip combo. Yep. We could set the spy. I think we do. Okay, I decided to set the Sangan. Perhaps beating out mind control. Not really sure why that would be better. Maybe we're digging for something specific. I guess to be consistent, we don't use the nobleman. Yeah. Alright, so in response to the pot of greed, we use the Wind Blast in fear of Magician of Faith. I think this is unnecessary. I don't think MMF would go for that line of play. Frankly, not because MMF isn't capable of mind games, but because it seems quite awful. Also, I think we have a window of opportunity to use the Wind Blast after the pot of greed resolves, which probably would have been better. So we use Thunder Dragon here. We could snatch the tomato tribute on Thunder Dragon, run over the set. But at this point we kind of have to respect the faith. Well, don't have to, but if we were to be consistent, I guess we should. Yeah, I guess we set Spy then. Sets the book, sure. So setting book behind Spy makes a lot of sense because the Spy itself can run over a breaker that we book. So what we do now, I guess I still want to snatch the tomato, tribute some of Thunder Dragon, switch everything to attack mode and start swinging. But Gibby is more patient than that, and now we're going to pass. So I think Gibby was trying to dig towards an answer for the set monster, fearing the Magician of Faith once again. I still think the Snatch line of play seems attractive. Gibby decides against it. And we're going to grab, I guess there's no level 1 and I guess there's no Sagan, so at that point what is there? Not a tomato. Okay. Um, we could crash with the opposing tomato. We could still go for a snatch steal. We could also fire off the nobleman, but we don't want to do that because we don't think any of these sets are faiths, because if so, they probably would have been flipped by now. This has a switch the tomato. Playing it very slow. I guess our consistent line of play is to attack with the mimic. So last time we attacked, but this time we didn't. The only reason I can see is that now we don't fear the faith. Right. So we're churning through our deck, and we could set up a one-turn kill, but it's quite difficult against 7,400 life points, along with a bunch of monsters, out of which a few of them are face down. We could set the Nidoria, we could summon the Breaker. Let's see what they go for. Let's set the Nidoria, okay. Tomato is likely going to run into that. And we're going to pop one of the set monsters. I'm not sure which one. I suppose the set monsters could be Sangan. So maybe we should just pop the tomato. Because they could be Serpent as well. At this point I'm really confused. Wow, why do we MST right now? Was that set this turn? Maybe it was. Otherwise I don't really see why right now was a good option. So can we do anything proactive here? I think we want to nobleman the new set. Maybe we want to lead with the breaker. I can see leading with the breaker. That does leave us somewhat weak to storm though. So maybe that's actually not that great. Let's see what they go for. Does leave with the breaker. There's the dust shoot. Okay, so we lose our Tsukiomi. I guess now we try to run over the one of the set monsters. And after that we nobleman the middle. Decides to nobleman the middle first and doesn't attack with the breaker. That's wild. Doesn't want to run into Sangan or Tomato as that would only help MMF. Could also be Dark Mimic. It's cool. Yeah, sure. We will let that one target one of our books and then book our spy is one option. Depends if we run triple spy. Likely we do not, seeing as how would we fit that into this deck? So in that case, maybe we want to book the breaker. I mean, booking one of the spies could be useful due to playing around tribe, but the breaker could just flip it up again. So now our breaker is going to run over the air breaker, I assume. Okay, then shuffle. Okay, we did shuffle, but we just happened to draw that scheme again. Yeah, I always double check the log when I'm playing because I don't trust my opponents to do that themselves. Okay, so we have no way of preventing the new set monster from being flipped if it was to be a faith. And seeing as we haven't taken an opportunity to flip-flop a spy yet, I guess those are not going to be able to get anything else from the deck. So, I guess we just pass. We could run something over with the breaker, but I don't see how that's consistent. Yeah, grabs the faith. I wonder if we're gonna crash. They are, yeah, we allow that of course. I think we set the ring pass. Could set the call. Sets the call. Okay, and MMF has had enough. Decides to start advancing the game state. And at this point we're quite scared of just dying. So we're in the end step here and Gib is thinking of whether or not to use Call of the Haunted, I guess. I don't personally see a reason to use it. Oh, flip-flop with the Tsukiomi? Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. So tried to snipe the Faith. MMF tried to trick us there. And they did. So that was cool. I guess at this point we snatched the Chaos Sorcerer. No, decides to just set the ring and pass. Oh, that's not great for us. Okay, this could get ugly. We could definitely die here. Yeah, we do. I mean, we gave him so much time that we can't really complain. And Mao, we're actually gonna live because of the Book of Moon. Okay, the game continues. Wow, that's absurd. Alright. We're actually alive. Can we do anything? So if we lead with the storm, we can snatch one of the small guys. Can tribute some of Thunder Dragon. We can go for a metamorphosis. And I don't see how that helps us. See if Gibby finds the line. Snatch, tribute some of Thunder Dragon. Go for meta crash. So Gibby knows that MMF is holding Faith Sin as a serpent, it would seem. So by that logic, we could snatch one of the small guys, tribute some Thunder Dragon, use meta, go into Bolter, run over one of the other small guy, and then it's essentially facing down the Bolter, and MMF doesn't have any way of getting through immediately, except if they summon their Magician of Faith in attack mode and go for game, which we perhaps could determine from doing by setting a bluff with the Delinquent Duo. Goes for this. Does that work? We snatch something. Go for some Metamorphosis line. I don't know. Does this actually work? Let's see what happens. So, does not go for a Metamorphosis immediately, as that would leave us dead to a Faith. So this is a line that doesn't leave us dead on board. Yeah, cool. I like it. Oh. So Gibby thought they had a Sinister, but they didn't. They never did have. So when someone adds Faith with their Sangan, it's often because we already have the Sinister. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording here and just check my food in the oven real quick. Alright, I'm back. Food looks good. Left it in the oven. So game 3. We live with the Thunder Dragon. We're going to set either the DD Warrior Lady or the Spy. In either case, we could set something behind, but we don't need to. Decides to set the Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, which is useful against a set monster on the opposing side, as we can get some actual tempo and try to push damage. So I would guess we do not really want to flip summon this Did already. We just want to play it slow. We could lead with the Delinquent though, we could also hold on to it, seeing as we have double Thunder Dragon. We could go for a Breaker here. We could also just set the Spy Pass. Let's see what Gibbet does. Oh, we get Dust Shot. So we pick the Spy, yeah. Yeah, I think we summon. I mean, we didn't pick the Breaker, so isn't that saying that Breaker is no good? Could also be that we're leveling us. That Breaker is good, but because we didn't pick it, it's not. We could go for Wind Blast. I think I still kind of want to summon the Breaker. Maybe that's bad. Gibbet decides to go for this line. And MMF was trying to bait out a Nobleman across out. You could also make the case that there aren't too many monsters that actually run over the Tsukiyami. But by that logic, maybe we should have picked the Breaker. Then again, maybe their set card is an answer to the Breaker. But if so, why not use that onto the Dear War Lady? I don't expect MF to have books in their deck, which would be the only card that qualifies as an answer to the Breaker, but not to the Dear War Lady. So, a bit weird to me. What happened here? So, maybe this could be telling Gibby that the Breaker is good, or maybe MF does have a Torrential Tribute set. And in that case, which also would make some sense, maybe they would be fine trading the tribute for the Breaker. But losing to Tsukiyomi is quite poor if Gibby does have like a flip monster that is flipped before. Very weird not to pick the Breaker there and to let Tsukiyomi die. Yeah, I don't think that's a torrential. I think we can go for the Breaker here. I do not understand this. I would be I would really want to hear from Gibby what the read was. So now the Delinquent Duo is better, but still not much better. It's 2 and 3 to hit the non-Thunder Dragon, and when we discard the Thunder Dragon, I guess we still use it well. I don't think we summon the Breaker. No reason to expose it, I don't think. And no reason to expose the book either. There's the Chaos Sorcerer, and MF does know our hand, so we know that we don't have an answer right now. Call it a Haunted, is that any good? Grabs the War Lady, that could be useful. So I guess we set that. Gibby did not shuffle their hand. I don't think at least. Maybe I missed it. Do we go for... Quite interesting from MMF to go for the meta here as well. I think we can somewhat safely go for the call here. Because if MMF had, say, another Chaos Monster, we would have summoned that before attacking. So the only thing we're really playing around is Snatch Steal by waiting with the call. And 2000 life points is a lot, so I think we could flip it here, yeah. Alright. I'm not sure about this ruling of call. I guess it's never destroyed. Yeah, sure. So, summon Mimic Attack. That's a good draw. Now set the book. MF has full knowledge still. We could summon Breaker. I think we shouldn't. We should just keep a slight point of pressure. Gibby disagrees. What are we gonna call? We call Spellcaster. We could use the book here, or we could let the Mimic go. I think we should let the Mimic go. It's so awkward, because if we save the Mimic by booking the tribe... No, we'll let the Mimic go, yeah. Now we use the book to cycle the Mimic. Yeah, so we basically recycle the book. Yeah, I agree with this. This looks nice. What now? Set Sangan Pass. Yep. Place her on top deck, Nobleman. I guess. And this is a Heavy Storm. Okay, sure. So we add Serpentism. Could make a case for something else, but nah. We want to use this Metamorphosis. It is still a bit awkward for us. We top deck Tomato, which is good. I guess we equip the Tomato and maybe then crash and take the 200 points. Oh no, sorry. We have to take the tribe, of course. I'm being silly. What's the option there to take the Tomato? Tribute of 100? No, it doesn't work. Okay, this is good. Chaos Sorcerer, that must be a great draw. I don't think we add the Serpent because I'm scared of a Dust Shoot. Gibby agrees. It goes for the Heavy Storm. Oh, this is so clean. This is so clean. I forgot we had a Heavy Storm. So, equip the set card, Tribute of Thunder Dragon. Oh wow, okay, this is class. So give a place around the top deck, Black Luster Soldier. But man, that's low. That's low. What now? Choose on Thunder Dragon this time. Flip the Tomato, summon the Chaos Sorcerer, and pray it gets through. That's a bit all in. Maybe that's not quite called for. Is there any way we do not? Just die to BLS? I guess we choose on Thunder Dragon, and we don't flip the Tomato when BLS is not lethal, and we can set a second Tomato next to it after your Battle Phase. I think I like that. Gibby agrees. Yeah, this is nice. Why didn't we summon? Why didn't we set the second Tomato? Don't really understand that, but not that it matters much. So here I think we flip the Tomato to check for Torrential. Besides the play slow. I mean, I guess this way it's hard for us to lose, but I mean, we are giving MF some time to draw stuff. Still doesn't set the second tomato. Not quite sure why we're holding on to it. Because we're not scared of Tarantula, right? Yeah, my tomato would have come in handy here. Okay, so Summon Chaos Roaster in defense. Set tomato. Sets Knight Assailant. Sure, that's better. Nice one. Pot of Greed. Okay, so we have lethal, so we don't bother playing the Pot of Greed. Sure. Because of the Nobleman crossout. So this was a really well played game from Gibby. Uh, yeah, I feel kind of lost when I watch these actually good turbo players play the deck because I have no idea what's going on half the time. But it's cool to see. I think I had some improvements in some spots, and in a lot of spots there were lots of options that looked equally good or equally bad. Um, and Gibby went for one option, and I would have gone for another, and it's really hard to say which was better. Okay, this was a really good game, and I think quite instructive and very fun to see. Thank you, Gibby, for this one. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later.